Another coin dealer robbed at yet another coin show. Believe it or not, this unfortunately happens all the time. We are looking at this article from the New York Post, and it talks about how a coin dealer lost $100,000 in gold, silver, and coins being robbed at a coin show. The article talks about a 67-year-old man from California who was at a New York coin show, so all the way on the other side of the country. The New York International Numismatic Convention, by the way, which ran from January 12th to January 15th at the Intercontinental New York Barclay Hotel in Midtown. The dealer set up his booth on January 12th, took steps to keep it safe. You guys are going to make fun of this, but I'll talk more about it in the video, so stay tuned. But it says he took steps to keep it safe, including putting chairs on top of the table before he left at around 7 p.m. that day, according to the report that he filed with the New York Police Department. And when he came back around noon the next day, the chairs had been taken down and his showcase was on the floor with the valuables gone, the dealer told cops. Now look, this actually happens quite a bit more often than you think. A quick Google search will bring up tons of articles of coin shows being robbed, coin dealers being robbed in parking lots of coin shows, coin shops being robbed, so on and so forth. And it really goes to show you how unsafe it is to be a dealer in this market. People talk about YouTubers getting in front of a camera and talking about silver and gold. Think about the dealers that go back and forth to these shows and they're carrying all of that gold with them in the safety of a car with maybe a friend. It's really scary to think about how often this actually happens. In fact, I myself know coin dealers that have been robbed before. Now, I have probably been to 100 coin shows, if not more, in my life, going back decades. And one thing I will tell you is that there are a lot of tips that you can follow, not only for being a vendor, which I have done many times, but also for just being someone who is there to walk the floor to look for something awesome. You're going to be bringing some cash with you. You're going to be leaving with silver and gold. There are many things that you can do to keep yourself safe. And so what I thought I would do in today's video is go over with you some of the tips that I've learned over the last few decades on how to stay safe at a coin show. We are also going to have a couple of clips from talking with Mike from Mid-America Coins about the security that he will have at his coin show in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is where I will be in June. So let's get into it. But before we do, again, don't forget to like and subscribe and help us continue to grow. Another year, another monster box of silver. For 2024, SD Bullion is giving away a full monster box of their 1-ounce silver Tree of Life coins. You can enter this giveaway all year, but I suggest that you do it now by going to sdbullion.com/sweepstakes and make sure you enter today. Thank you to SD Bullion for sponsoring my channel. So the first few tips I'm going to give you are for you that are going to the show that aren't setting up as a vendor, but you just want to go and buy, or you want to go and look and maybe pick up some silver or gold for your collection, or maybe do some trading. You're going to take some coins with you, whatever it may be. If you are going to a coin show, try and always take somebody with you. Now, when I say this, I realize that I go to many coin shows all by myself, and it's not uncommon for that to happen. But if you have a friend that can go with you, it is definitely better to have somebody with you because there is what's called safety in numbers. I'm sure you've heard that many, many times. But even if you go on your own, which is totally fine, when you are leaving, especially if you feel uncomfortable, or maybe you've done a transaction or two that might draw some unwanted attention, like you used a lot of cash, or you're carrying around a fancy briefcase that you're putting coins into, there may be people watching that are intending to rob somebody, and they are looking for vulnerable targets that are all by themselves and that they know have something on them. They may follow them to the parking lot and then take advantage of them when they're weakest, which is all by themselves with nobody around. So what you can do is, if you've possibly drawn unwanted attention to yourself, is you can go up to a security guard and ask them to take you to your car. Many coin shows I've been to, the security guards, they do have one that is allowed to leave the venue and take somebody to their car if they feel uncomfortable. It's not uncommon. I've seen it happen many, many times. The security guards will make sure you get in your car and drive off safely and head back in. And by the way, when you're parking at a coin show, do your best to get as close to the venue as possible. I've been to many coin shows that have huge lots and they go really far back. And if you're much farther back where there's less people, you again are much more likely to be targeted because they are looking for people that are most vulnerable and not around a lot of other people at the same time. The second tip I can give you is to secure your belongings, what you're taking with you, including your cash. Sometimes at coin shows, you'll see me or other people walking around with a briefcase like this that has a combination lock on it. Now, the lock-picking lawyer would tell you that those locks are worthless, and he is not wrong. But what they do do is they protect from pickpockets. Pickpockets are very good at pulling something off of your person without you knowing it's gone. They're not very good at figuring out what the combination is on both of those locks and opening it without you noticing. So while if someone does steal your briefcase, that is not going to provide any protection whatsoever, it is going to make sure that you know that everything in that briefcase, so long as you have control of it, is secure and you're not going to lose it. So definitely find a way to secure what you take with you, whether it be cash, your coins, or whatever it's going to be, so that you protect yourself from people that aren't necessarily looking to hold you up, but are definitely looking to take advantage by slipping something off of your person. So the third tip I'm going to give you about going to a coin show and walking around as a buyer is that you should always be wary of fake coins. And this does in fact happen at coin dealer and vendor tables. I have absolutely seen fake coins at vendor tables at coin shows. Now, no coin dealer or vendor is going to let you use a pocket pinger to test their silver at the table, but if there's something that looks fishy, ask them if you could have a independent person verify it, and maybe see if you can have a second coin dealer look at it just to verify it, especially when it comes to raw coins. But the truth is, there are even fakes in slabs. I have seen fake PCGS and NGC slabs before, and they absolutely can end up at a table in a coin show. So if you're not 100% sure, if you feel uncomfortable, or if you just don't know much about the dealer, you can always go online and research the dealer as well. But if you don't feel comfortable with the coin, do yourself a favor and just back off, or at least get a second opinion before you purchase it, because you don't want to leave a coin show buying a fake coin and not realizing it till later, because at that point, it's probably going to be too late. So make sure you know exactly what you're looking at. And if you're not sure, like I said, get that second opinion. All right, so this next part, I'm going to be completely honest with you. While I do have some experience with being a vendor or a dealer at a coin show, I certainly don't have enough to be an expert on this and share the information with you. So what instead I'm going to do is, besides talking to Mike about what he's going to be doing at his show in Tulsa this June, is refer you to this sheet right here. This sheet right here is 67 tips put together by the ANA, which is the American Numismatic Association, and the NCIC, which is the Numismatic Crime Information Center. They put this tip list together that whether you've been to one coin show as a dealer or 1,000, if you haven't seen it yet, you should absolutely read, because it is chock full of information that everybody should need to know. I've read every single tip myself more than once. So please do yourselves a favor, and rather than listen to me going to the show as a vendor, just read that list. I'm going to link it down below. But what I do want to do is talk about the security at an upcoming show that I'm going to be at in June. Now, as you guys know, I am going to make an appearance at the June Tulsa, Oklahoma coin show, which is going to be bigger and better than it's ever been. And the owner of Mid-America Coins, and also the person putting on the show, Mike, actually joined me to talk about some of the security that he is going to have at the coin show, which is going to make it safer for me and you, including some tips as well. So my first question to Mike was, of course, talking about recent coin show robberies, like the one that just happened in California actually last week. And I asked him what his show and other big shows do to make sure that that doesn't happen there. Let's hear what he had to say.
Fortunately, a good show usually has really good security. As well as, Mr. Seeker, we did a video and you got to see the type of security we're going to have there. We have cameras all over the place. We have 6 security guys that'll be there all day long. We have 3 that stay overnight. Now, these are not just security guys that stay overnight. These are actually off-duty officers where they got a couple seconds is all it takes them to get a whole army of officers there in Tulsa, because the police station is not that far from our show. Just remember, they're armed, they're radioed, and there's a lot more of them than you think. Just because we hire that many doesn't mean that we don't have enough security. We have plenty of security. And then to top it all off, as we talked about this, we got the U.S. Mint coming. They also bring their own security. So there's going to be a lot of security on this floor. Cameras, we got cameras everywhere. Once again, I said this. So we know that security there, we can see if somebody tries to pocket something anywhere in. We also will have some plain clothes so you guys won't know who they are. They will be walking around making sure that you guys are staying straight and honest, because, guys, that's the best way. You got guys that will go around, they'll space out the coin shops and the coin shows. That's what they're looking for, weaknesses. The problem is some guys get comfortable. Oh, I've done several shows, nothing ever happened, blah, blah, blah. I don't need no security. Well, that's not true. You need security.
So those were no doubt wise words about having security at the coin show. In fact, I believe it's very important, just like Mike does. But what about the other things I talked about, especially for those going to walk around? What about fakes and things like that? Well, let's hear what he had to say about that situation.
Let's talk about fakes. So, people come into the coin show to try and sell coins, try and sell silver, try and sell gold. How often is it that you run across fakes, and has it been more frequently lately?
Actually, yeah, it has been. Guys, it don't matter if they're in a slab holder or not. PCGS did a class a few years back in Cincinnati, Ohio. I attended that on forgery holders that were coming out of another country. We also had NGC now has been hit in the last few years. But, a lot of times if you know your labels, you can spot them. I keep a chart on PCGS here. I got NGC making me one for all their different generation holders. So it makes it a little faster and easier for me to spot these fakes.
So like Mike was saying, it's easier for him to spot the fake slabs, and that's why I said earlier that if you're not 100% sure about something, ask the dealer if you can get a second opinion. A lot of the times they will let you have another dealer look at it. You can work out the details with them on how to get it over to the other dealer or whatever. But if you're not 100% comfortable, it is always better to get a second opinion. So the last thing I'll talk about here today is that earlier in the video, I said I would comment about putting the chairs upside down on top of your showcases at a coin show as security. And I want to talk about that a little bit because it's certainly not a security reason. So basically how it's ever worked for me and how I've seen other dealers do this is many dealers, and by the way, that robbery that we talked about at the beginning of this video was over a year ago, but there was a recent one just last weekend at a local coin show in California that I saw reported on another YouTube channel. So I'll put a link for that down below if you want to hear about that. But in the comments on that video and in the comments on the article that I showed earlier, I saw people laughing and saying there's no way I would ever leave my gold and silver at a coin show. Well, let me tell you this, I have seen a lot, and I'm not saying that you should do it, by the way. Certainly not saying that. You do whatever feels more comfortable for you. But I have seen a lot of dealers leave their coins, their gold, their silver, even their money bags at coin shows. A lot of the time they'll put them in the showcase, they'll lock the showcase. Some of the dealers have what's called body bags, which are basically a big bag that covers a table and zips closed. And then they put a lock on the zipper, and then they cover their tables with the upside down chairs. That bag with the lock on it, which you can just cut open with a razor knife easily, those chairs that can be easily moved, the intent is not for them to provide security. The intent is for them to show if your showcases have been tampered with. So a lot of coin dealers will actually put them a certain way. Maybe they'll take a picture of how they put them before they leave. They'll be able to see if someone had cut into the bag. But a lot of that's because it's actually safer most of the time. Again, I'm not telling you what to do, but it is safer most of the time for coin dealers to actually leave their gold and silver at a coin show, especially if they're going out of town. So for example, in the article that we posted earlier, it happened in New York. The dealer was from California, so he can't exactly just take his gold and silver home with him, can he? No, it's halfway, it's all the way across the country, not just halfway, literally from East Coast to West Coast. He can't do it. So what he does is he keeps it there under the guard of security officers that are hired and paid for to be at that show and protect their inventory. And I am telling you that I have many, many times seen dealers leave and I'm serious. There's one dealer that goes to a St. Louis coin show and he does it the same way. He locks up his showcases and there are probably 200 ounces, if not more, of gold in just one showcase, and he leaves it there on the show floor. Again, I'm not saying that it's 100% secure there, but him taking that with him makes him a major target, especially if his plan is to go out and eat dinner that night, leaving that in a hotel room, whatever it may be. It's actually safer for him and generally for the product to just leave it at the show where the armed guards are. So that's why they do it. So what you decide to do, that's totally up to you. But even Mike from Mid-America Coins, I've been to coin shows with him, and that's what he does at night. He puts it in the body bag, he zips it up, he puts the lock on it so he knows it's not been tampered with. He puts the chairs upside down on top of the showcases to know if they've been moved, and then he leaves it there and hopes that something doesn't happen with the armed security, because again, it's safer than him taking it back to his hotel room all by himself. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video and learned a little bit. If you did, do me a big favor and leave me a comment down below. Make sure you hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to learn more about the Tulsa, Oklahoma coin show, I'm going to put a video for it right there where I actually went down to the venue, showed it off, brand new venue, and it's gorgeous, and you should check that out right now. Guys, thanks again for watching, and we will see you next time.